Hi, Virgo. It's Angela. Okay, we are going to do a quick little energy update for you guys. Virgo Sun, Moon, Rising. Calling this sort of a June wrap-up reading. Okay, I'm pulling oracles for everyone from the same deck, like I usually do. And this time it's coming from the Healing Mantra deck by Kahn. It's beautiful. It's it's very real simplified messages, very simple. There's a lot of geometry, a lot of designs and shape, universal shapes sort of integrated into the readings, into the cards. And then the message is powerful, in all of these. And it's something, a simple concept that we can dive into sort of in depth and find a way to transform and heal. Okay, so for you, Virgo, the card I pulled is expressing free will. That's your inner being wanting to shine, right? When you are making decisions and moving about according to what resonates for you, what's right for you, what your inner guide is asking you to do, when you're moving in that flow, everything flows around you. And you start to notice, I'm not saying don't take into consideration others, because we all have to live with others and we have people around us that are also affected by our choices. But every choice, every organic choice that I make, as long as it's not harming someone, right? If my organic choice is off alignment, it could harm someone, right? But if it's in full alignment with my inner being, it just opens me up more. It allows me to shine more, and it allows me to know what the next decision is going to be, what the next choice will be, right? The more you stay in that flow of your own free will, of your own inner being, the more life flows, right? It's a little trick that we all should learn. Like I said, we do take into consideration others' feelings, and sometimes we curb our decisions or modify them so that others won't feel harmed or just discarded from our decision making. But mostly, right, we should be taking action and expressing who we are from that inner being, from that inner alignment. Okay, let's see what the Zen cards say for us, Virgo. All right, this is your starting point here. We have your inner, left side cards are inner influences or internal awarenesses that support the center card. And the right side is how it manifests in your waking life, like, how it shows up in your external experience. Okay, then that card down there is the pivot, right? So you have your starting point, inner and outer, pivot, how to get to another stage of understanding. And then that's where we land up there. Okay, so Virgo, you start out locked down with control. Yeah, look at this. Are you trying to control your life path by making decisions according to a plan and an outline, which is not a bad thing, right? That's why we set goals. But are you overdoing that? Are you doing it to the point where you're stuck, where things are so rigid that when it comes time for me to express my free will, it doesn't come out because it's locked in to this sense of, right and wrong. I got to make this move or everything could come crumbling down. I've got to make this decision, because my parents need me to, or whatever, right? This could stand in your way. A certain amount of planning and operating under controlled environment is good. But when it's locking you down and blocking your free will, no good, no bueno. Okay, so this is your starting point. So this could be where you are. This could also be an experience you've had in the past that you want to sort of be reminded of and call awareness to, so that you can sort of reshape the path going forward if it came up again, right? Your inner being, oh, look, yeah, your inner being knows. Slow it down. Pause more. Listen to your inner being, your inner guide more. Stop and assess what's going on around me more. All those things, all of that slowing down and pacing our energy a little more slowly allows us to, first of all, drop some of that controlling need and allows us more freely to express ourselves, right? Because bypassing certain energies and rushing through them without really pacing ourselves to a natural rhythm and the rhythm that life is bringing to us, if we're trying to speed past it and move beyond the energy that's present, we could be covering up our true intentions, or we could be, let's see, not covering up, but we could be bypassing them. We could be just not staying in tune with our true intentions and who we really are. So we get this. First of all, the need to control we need to be aware of how much we want to, how much we're finding ourselves needing to control things, because that is also not really who we truly are, right? That's a fear-based response to circumstances. And then within us knowing, okay, slow it down a little. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we have to deal with. What does my inner spirit really want? Okay. And then in the external position, oh my goodness, look what it results in. The rebel. This is you breaking the chains of control that held you back, breaking those chains, busting through them, and saying, you know what, I'm going to be myself. I'm not going to apologize. I'm going to be and say and do everything that's aligned within me. He's got that torch leading the way. He's got his wings on, ready to fly and become himself up there in the sky. This is you. This is just that, those two steps of becoming aware of where I have control issues, where I feel, you know, I need things to turn out a certain way, and focusing more on that outcome than on what's organically within you. So recognizing that shift and being able to make that shift and bring it in-house for a minute, kind of assess, you know, what is it that I want to express here? What is it that I want to, what step do I want to take? What feels best for me, right? Slowing that down a little. It results in, you know, sort of like a clear, free path for you to express exactly who you are. That's kind of perfect right there. That is your starting point. So that's the level that you're at, or that you've been in before, or, you know, maybe this is where you've been before and these things haven't come into play yet, and you're willing to try that next time, right? Okay. Now the key here, the pivot card, moving forward. Oh yeah, things could get intense. I'm not saying the obstacles get intense and the you know, the absence, I'm sorry, of our true inner being, that doesn't get intense. What gets intense is once that's unleashed, once you're like, hey, yeah, you know what, I'm going to say straight up, this is what's best for me. This is what I'm going to do. Once you get there and that's unlocked, oh yeah, life just flows. And I'm not saying this intensity is a pressure, like a negative thing. This isn't intense, like unbearable. This is like an intense flow, like a real rhythm flow of all the decisions you make showing up exactly how they need to be, because they're coming from within. They're coming from your organic self. So this is good. Things speed up. Things get more, you're more in the flow of your own life. Okay. And then we get here to the next level of awareness. Oh Lord, I'm going to show you these. This is really good. So sometimes when we move through these readings and we bring ourselves to this sort of higher consciousness space and being able to see things from a higher perspective, sometimes we get to review what it was, what those things were that were bogging us down. And this, for you guys, this is like all of that, every card. So your landing spot into your newer level of awareness is, I got guilt. So this doesn't mean you're going to start feeling guilty for being yourself, but you could be tempted to, right? I'm breaking out, I'm breaking the chains. I'm just going to be who I am. I'm going to let it fly. You might have a little bit of guilt experience, but it's not long lasting. It's not. You know, you're gonna move from, you know, this figure who's got all these, you know, the claws clawing at her brain, like, why did I do that? I feel so bad. But you're gonna rise right above it to this space where it's clear and colorful and easy. You know, it might be uncomfortable at first, like we said, you know, that intensity, it might make you a little uncomfortable. To me, it's like, oh, good. It's intense. It's flowing free. It's going exactly how it should now. Every movement I make is according to my inner being, according to my inner free will. That's a good thing, but it might leave some residual of, oh, well, I did exactly what I wanted, but now look how my best friend feels, or look how my, you know, that's okay. Because that stuff washes away. You won't stay there long. With your higher self on board, you'll never stay there long. Within you, as you're contending with these feelings of guilt, or even just being able to snap right above to that higher perspective and kind of go, oh, I bypassed the guilt. My old being, the one who wasn't always so free to express who I am and do things according to my inner guide, that old version of me would have felt guilty. And, you know, this level of awareness could be the detachment from this feeling. That could be like, oh, wow, I bypassed the guilt this time, right? That could be that too. Or like I said, it could be you kind of land there and go, oh yeah, this isn't going to work. I don't need to feel this because I did what I did out of my truth. And feeling guilty for my truth is like, I'll stay in this place forever I'll never move on, right? Internally, you've got this projections card. So this could be sort of a little review of within you of, oh yeah, this rebel expressing my free will vibe was not expected. Like some people did not expect that from me. And when I did, it threw them off. But internally, you may recognize this, but it still won't be enough to have you reverse back. You cannot unknow the freedom and the ease that you experience when you're operating from your inner alignment. You can't unknow that. Once you start to, you know, crank it out a little bit and say, well, you know, I'm going to make this decision because it feels best for me. Now I'm going to make that decision too, because that really feels good too. Once you start doing that, you can't walk that back because it's your truth. And it's really how you should be living. So, but within you, you have this awareness that, oh yeah, someone's going to be bummed because they expected something different from me, but that's okay too. Because then what I have is this final card, which is suppression, which is above the rebel card. And it's in direct contrast to the rebel. It's the opposite of breaking the chains. This is holding myself in place. This is breaking free. And since you had this breaking free card already in the starting point of your reading, this suppression is going to be more like a memory. Oh, remember when I was so bound up because I couldn't speak up and I couldn't express who I am and I couldn't take action according to what felt best for me inside. Remember that? Yeah, I don't feel like that anymore. There's a healthy detachment from all of these vibes. So your next level of awareness, after you start to release that control issue and start to really pause and slow down and go organically with what your energy needs and what the universe, what life brings you to respond to. Not, you know, I have this preordained plan that's all control based that that I have to take steps A, B, C, and D, otherwise I'll never achieve anything. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna pause that for a minute. I'm gonna see how I feel. Right? You started this reading here. So now, once you've gone through that process and learned and things, the pace picked up, your next level of awareness is, oh, remember that? Remember this is how how my outcome could have been. Remember that old version of me? And now you're like, yeah, I'm not going back, because you can't unknow that vibration of, complete ease and flowing from your organic self. You can't unknow that. So I love this, because it's like a healthy reminder, or like a, you know what, I dodged that bullet, right? Perfect. I love it. Interesting. I like it a lot. Okay, Virgo, thank you so much for being here with me. Make sure you give me a comment down below and let me know what you think and how you responded to this reading, and if it reminds you of a situation in your life, and how that turns out when you make a shift in the way you approach it. Okay. All right. Thanks, you guys. I'll see you again really soon.